Dingity ding ding ding.
That is officially the sound of the closing bell for the month of trading of January, which also means it's time for a monthly trading review. I don't want to bury the lead on you here, so $400,000. 400,000 buckaroos is how much your boy was able to lock in and realize for the month of trading in January. In this video, there's three major things I want to get into. Of course, I want to show you proof of that particular performance. I'm going to show you the highs, the lows, where I could improve, and where I did somewhat well. I want to give you an idea of my thoughts and plans for these accounts going forward, but most importantly, and make sure you stick around until the end, because I want to show you a particular trading strategy that I've been working on and working to really improve, that if you happen to be a sim-to-funded prop trader, I promise you, you're going to want to watch this, because not only did it make me money, it stopped me from, getting tilted and completely blowing out. So if you happen to be a future trader, especially a prop trader, I promise you, you're going to want to pay attention until the end. First things first, so here's the proof. As many of you who have been watching this particular series, this particular saga, you know that I'm trading with 15 funded Apex accounts, and here they are on the screen now. I've been trading them officially at the end of the month of January for 70 days, and they're anywhere from a positive P&L of 58,000 all the way down to just below 57, so that's just the difference. I do copy trade them all together, but there's a little slippage and sometimes there's mess ups here and there, so that's the reason for the differential, but overall, I do copy trade them together. I do want to clarify this, but those of you who have been watching the series, you already probably know this P&L imbalance that you see on the screen is actually underrepresenting how I've actually been able to perform, because throughout this, I've been taking payouts, and for each account, I've taken 5 payouts of $2,000, so $10,000 each, or $150,000 across all the accounts. So once again, that's not being represented here because the money was already requested and has been successfully deposited into my account. And if you want to know the specifics of those payouts or the details of this journey in an overall sense, I do implore you to go back to the first video right here. Apex Trader denied me 30,000. That was video number 1. And ever since then, obviously, we've made 8 more videos documenting the highs, the lows, and the craziness that is this particular trading challenge, this trading saga. Now, unfortunately, we do live in a day and age where there's a lot of talking heads on the internet where I'm not necessarily going to call them liars, but I'm definitely not going to call them truthers. So let me just prove to you another way that these accounts are exactly what I'm saying they are. This is me logging into Ninja, and you can see I have my 15 accounts. Their total net liquidation value is exactly what I just showed you on the other screen. And you can see here that I have 5 of these eval accounts that I did successfully fund. I'm going to start trading them new on Apex. You're allowed to trade up to 20. Obviously, I have the 15 quote unquote big accounts, and the 5 new ones are just kind of new strategies that I'm testing out to see what I'm going to do for the next chapter of this entire thing. So in my mind, I do trade them as 2 completely different chunks. I trade the 15 together, and the new 5 ones are for new trading strategies. Not only do I like bringing up the Ninja Trader platform to show you folks where my accounts are at, a little bit of proof, but they also have a phenomenal trader performance tool that allows you to have an analysis on you and your own trading. And you can see here from January 1st to January 31st, I was able to lock in just below $405,000. The win rate was around 48%. If you look at the long side, I lost almost 41. If you look at the short side, I made 445. And both of those, 44% win rate on the long side and a 55% win rate on the short side. So yes, you heard me right. Basically, with the same odds of flipping a coin, 48%, actually I'm losing more often than I'm winning, I was still able to make $405,000. And a quick side note for those of you who paid attention to the December recap video and also the November recap video, you know that not only have I actually officially doubled my recent performance, but I also completely inverted it. In those videos, I lost money on the short side for November and December, and all my winnings came from the long side. And then this time around, obviously, I lost on the long side and almost all my money came from the short side. So what's on the screen now is the daily performance mapped over with the cumulative net profit. So you can see at the start of the month, I actually was in the negative, bottomed out on January the 5th. And ever since then, slowly but surely, I've been climbing higher and higher and higher. And what's really cool is you can actually get the specifics of each individual day. So obviously this is the entire trading month of January. You can see I did have one losing day on January the 5th where the net profit was a loss of 78,000. Other than that, I did manage to make money money every single day. And on the surface level, that actually seems pretty good, only one losing day. But there's something I want to bring to your attention. Right here, the max drawdown, you can actually see that I had 2 days by all definitions I would count as unacceptable. On the 15th of January, I had a max drawdown of 123. That's pretty brutal. And then at the end of the month, literally to wrap up the month, I had a horrendous max drawdown of $280,000. And if these numbers don't make sense, because you're like, but hang on, man, every account is at like 105,000, 108,000 right now. What are you talking about? Remember, these are the numbers for all 15 counts put together. So of course, I want to circle back to these max drawdown, these 2 days right here, because that's really where I, at least for myself, took the biggest lessons of the month. But there's one other thing that I want to just kind of quickly show you here. Right now, I have the longs and the shorts put together. If I look at just the long side, at first it was looking good. Then I got hit. Then it was looking good again. And then to conclude the month, I actually lost money going to the long side, which is the opposite once again of November and December. And then if I look at the short side, this actually performed better than it's ever been. I mean, I took a little hit at the start of the month, and ever since then, pop, not really shorting, and then started shorting again and made even more money. So not only am I showing you this just to give you as much data to be as transparent as I possibly can, because once again, I just don't want to be another talking head on the internet. I really want to show it to you because it's a phenomenal breakdown of your own trading. So if you happen to be on Ninja, I highly implore you to check this out yourself, because you could start to realize where you're doing well, and maybe that's where you want to double down. And maybe you can even identify where things aren't going so smoothly, and that's maybe the area that you kind of don't want to engage in anymore. Before we move forward, if you have any questions about my particular trade performance, please let me know in a comment below, and I'll be doing my best to get back to all of you. And yes, a little later in this video, I'm still gonna let you know those major lessons to update my own trading strategy and framework that I believe you can use as early as, I guess, the day after you watching this video. But in the meantime, I do want to address something very important. The most recent video right here. I never thought I'd have this problem with Apex Trader funding. That relates to basically the overall state of my accounts. Let me show you right here. The fact that I've already taken 5 payouts, as in I'm no longer capped at the $2,000 max per account per payout, as in I could take all this money. I really can, as in I could drain these all the way down to 50,000. And as evident as a no duh, dude, take the money type of response you're probably having, I have a couple other concerns. I asked you to watch this video because it's basically me going through all the options of, do I take all of the money? Do I leave all the money? Do I meet myself somewhere in the middle? And it has a lot to do with really the buffer of these accounts, and that's a big advantage. Yes, there's some tax implications, but of course, there's always that idea of a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, and maybe don't worry about any of that and just take the money and get it in my own bank account. But as of the moment that I'm filming this video, once again on February the 1st, I have not made a decision. So I'm hoping to obviously still slowly but surely trade the account. Clearly, I don't want to blow them out. No one ever wants to blow out trading. But right now, I guess in a nutshell, I just don't know what I want to do. So that's going to be a big decision for me in the month of February. And now that I think about it, it actually brings me to the most important part of this video, the trading strategies and lessons that I've recently learned that I wish I didn't have to learn in such a painful way, but I want to share it with all of you because I think it's going to make your futures and prop trading journey that much more simple. As many of you know, as I continue to trade these accounts day in and day out, I am putting myself at risk. I could stop trading and request the money out, and awesome, that's great. But also, if you're not taking on any risk, you're not taking on any reward. And of course, that's the balance of like, okay, are you feeling comfortable and trading good setups, or are maybe you being a little bit undisciplined and a little greedy? So yes, I am putting myself at risk of basically blowing out, I don't know, this $800,000, $900,000. But then of course, the reward is if I trade well, I can make that much more money. I fully understand I'm playing with fire, and just to be transparent, I almost got seriously burned. To conclude the week and to wrap up the month, I had my worst trading session in quite a while. In fact, most of it I was streaming live to you, so if you happen to see that live stream on Friday, you knew that it was brutal and I was getting tilted, and I'm here to report to you that after I got off the stream, well, my mind continued to spiral. Well, at one point, the worst drawdown that I saw was $23,000. I gave back almost half of all of my profits. I know here it says the max drawdown was 280, but that's just because of the worst realized number. I did have an unrealized number that actually made that worse. And folks, there are not enough proper words in the English language to explain to you how stupid I felt. And it's exactly that. I fell for the classic trap that all traders eventually do. I got tilted, I spiraled, and I was in a hole, and I kept digging. From a visual standpoint, you can see how much my brain broke in that trading session on Friday. If this does not define spazzing out, I don't know what will. Let me switch it down to the 5-minute chart so you can see it in a bit more detail. I never trade this much in terms of individual trades. I never trade this much in terms of contracts. I was oversized. I was over trading. I was breaking every single rule in the Disciplined Trader rulebook. And that's exactly how at one point I lost about half of my account's value. I know many of you learn from my successes as I share the trade breakdown thoughts for the entries and the exits and the management, or I at least hope some of you learn, but I honestly deeply believe that you'd be able to learn more from my serious mess ups, and that's exactly what I want to explain, because not only do I want to get into the details of the mess up, I want to get into how I pulled myself out of that spiral and some actual trading techniques that you can use to improve your own trading. So with that in mind, let me make this chart a little bit bigger just so you can see a bit more, and then let me zoom in. It'll just make this whole thing a bit easier. Now remember that the blue carrots are actually long positions or going long buying, and then the kind of pink magenta is actually selling. You can see for Friday that in the morning, I was feeling pretty bullish, as in I was buying a lot, there was a lot of blues, and I got in, tried to go long, knocked out for break even. That is completely fine, and please keep that in mind. It's going to be important later in this explanation. And then a little bit later, I tried to go long again, got knocked out, tried to go long, kind of getting knocked out. But you can see I started to build up more of a long position, and all of a sudden, that initial tactic that I had of getting out at break even when I was wrong of, hey, I'm going to let the runner run, didn't run, knocked me out for break even, whatever. No sweat off my back, literally no risk. You can see that I stopped doing that. Instead of just getting out at break even and admitting I was wrong, I started to let it go against me. And right here, I had the opportunity for break even. I had the opportunity for a small loss. Once again, these are all long positions. Instead, I held to it, and then officially admitted I was wrong and took a massive loss. So not only is that in itself bad, taking a larger loss at more contracts than I should have been trading, it actually stopped me from missing out on this pretty clear short opportunity. And then when I decided to go short about, 15, 30 minutes later, I'm now chasing it. And then because I went short too late, I get blown out of that. It was at this point that I literally had to just calm down, walk out of the room, and just take a breather. Because at this point, not only am I taking a sizable financial loss, but I know there's an extra level of, embarrassment because I'm on the internet. You guys have been with this journey from October till now, seeing my wins, my losses, and overall that steady growth of the accounts as I'm trying to get a pretty gnarly payout. As I'm getting closer and closer to that finish line, yes, it all feels a lot more real, which means that there's just higher stakes. And not only am I thinking about just the hit to my own, wallet here, or the missed opportunity where my wallet could be growing, but I also understand that there are social media implications where this would be the second time in a year that I'm streaming to you a huge upswing on Apex just for me to fumble it on the 1 yard line. So as you can imagine, my mind was spiraling, no positive thoughts. Obviously, I was tilted. And after I was able to just calm down a little bit, I realized you never know what the market is going to bring. But as quickly as I can, I have to bring myself back to my proper trading strategy. And that's basically exactly what I did here midday around 12:30. I saw weakness in the chart, lower highs, lower lows. If you throw up your favorite SMAs or EMAs or MACD or RSI, all those classic indicators are pointing to the downside. And this is where I built up a new short position. And basically what I did was exactly what I should have been doing this whole time. Try to trade with trend. As soon as it goes a little bit in my favor, get your stop to break even. There's no risk for that individual contract. And if I think it's going to keep going, I could add on another contract for a second independent position. And when that one goes a little bit in my favor, put the stop to break even and just wash, rinse, repeat. As long as you're taking your risk off the table for whatever your initial position is, it's riskless, no sweat off your back. And then from there, I like to see how many contracts I can layer in at a riskless position. I want to emphasize that. Well, with that in mind, within this time frame, I was able to build in 10 different short positions. And then eventually the market broke in my favor, and you could see around 130 is where I collected all of my gains, and that's exactly how I was able to dig myself out of the hole. I was able to step away, calm down, return to the trading I know I should be doing, as in keeping the risk as minimal as possible, not oversizing, not, throwing my risk out the window. It always comes back to the basics. If you like a trade, great. If you can take your risk off the table, great. That's what you need to do. So basically, I was doing the opposite of what I was doing in the morning, kind of got myself to back where I should be midday. And then fortunately, the market god sent the market lower. I was able to collect. And then from there on out, I made some good scalp trades, some good scratch trades, once again, keeping the size lower, keeping my risk in control. And then fortunately, I was able to end the day in the green. In fact, just to drive this point home, right here, my worst max drawdown was on the 30th. But then if we look at the net profit, you're going to be able to see that it was my third best day. I guess I had 75K later in the month, early in the month, 60K. So even though it was my worst drawdown day, it was my third highest return. So remember, if you happen to catch yourself in the moment of spiraling, of getting tilted, it is never too early to return to the basics, to return to that exact trading strategy that you know you should be trading. For me, when it comes to the world of futures trading, especially sim-to-funded prop trading, it's always that major thing of what are you risking? If you're risking too much in terms of your stop loss is too far away, or you're not acknowledging it, or if you're trading too much, those are literally 100% of the time that I get my back against the wall. And the other times where I'm making money and not really risking that much and just things are going smooth, it's when I'm trading smaller, it's when I'm respecting my risk, and when the market, I guess if I get lucky and it trends in my favor, I'm immediately moving my stop to break even. Or maybe to put that another way, good trading almost feels effortless. And then at least for me, when I'm trading poorly, it's always a bit more chaotic. So if you could kind of identify it, and I know it's much, much easier said than done, if you can acknowledge those moments of, hey, everything is wrong here, like I said, I just stepped away, was able to calm down, and I basically found the discipline within myself to return to doing exactly what I knew I should be doing. So whatever your strategy is, I don't care your indicators, I don't care your trend following, I don't care what it is, but I do know regardless of the strategy, your success is going to be more so dependent on your risk management, which is exactly why for me, not only on this month of making $400,000, stopping myself from blowing out, but also November and December making $200,000 each, all of that success is really going to be, in my mind, directly correlated to the fact of good risk management. The best traders are not just the best traders, they're the best risk managers. That's what I have for you in this video. I appreciate all the good vibes. As I said before, if you have any questions or comments, let me know in a comment below. And don't forget, if you want to try trading with someone else's capital, at least the way that I do, on Apex Trader Funding, with that code GOONIE, GOONIE, you can always get the best deal. It looks like right now, if you take advantage of the deal quickly enough, you'll get 90% off. I do want to let you know that the deal is always changing, but whatever the best deal is, you're going to be able to take advantage of it. Once again, with the code GOONIE, I'll make sure it's linked below. I appreciate you stopping by. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.